Hi, I'm Father Kathy Caimano, free-range priest. And this is the second video in a series about the craft of preaching. In the first video, we talked about why it is that we preach. Today, I want to talk about you. Specifically, I want to talk about what kind of preacher you are. And let's just get to the point. You're a great preacher. You are. I'm not just saying that. This is how I know. Anyone who has received the love of God through Jesus Christ and is excited to share it with others already has the basics to give wonderful sermons. And, well, it is true that you might need a few more things to help you be the best preacher you can be. And today we're going to talk about some of them. The first one is obvious, but should not be overlooked, and that is prayer. Pray to give a good sermon. Pray while you are preparing it. Pray for those who will hear it. Pray before you preach. Pray when you're done. As a preacher, you are conveying something about God to a group of people. Having a very good relationship with God is incredibly helpful for this. Don't neglect your daily prayer. Don't neglect prayer as part of your preaching life. You also need to study. And as with prayer, your study needs to be both general and specific. It helps to start with the basics of the Christian faith, and it also helps to be very up on current events. I think it was Karl Barth who said, "We preach with the Bible in one hand and the newspaper in the other." I preach with Google in the other hand, but you get the picture. As the time gets close, you need to study the piece of scripture you are preaching on like you've never seen it before. What is God telling you through it? What are others saying about it? What haven't you seen before? A quick aside here, but an important one. You have to preach what you believe. Saying things from the pulpit that you think should be true, but you don't feel in your heart, will come across as false. Better to be honestly doubtful in your faith than to try to convince others what you don't believe. Finally, you have to prepare. We will go through this in detail in a later video, but for now just know that every preacher should have a sermon routine. No one should get in any pulpit without feeling thoroughly confident about what they're planning to say. The key word here is plan. Prepare your sermon and also practice it. Run through it in an empty church or while you're driving around. Practice the major points or run through the whole thing. Whether this is your first sermon or your 1001st. I preach to my dogs all the time. If they fall asleep, I take that as a good sign. So there you go. You can develop your natural gifts for preaching with prayer, study, and preparation. Then you can polish your gifts with some very concrete tips, which we will get to in the next few videos. So it's true. You are a great preacher. Keep coming back, and we'll keep talking about the craft of preaching. I'm Father Kathy, and I'm glad you're here.